Good morning, good afternoon. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again to the live stream. I didn't shut the door. Shout out to Jacob Tanjay and the NTZ crew. Thank y'all so much for all y'all do for me, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to all my fourth quarter members. As I love LaChan, he said my savings will be enough, but I'm going to have to leave my lavish lifestyle behind. What's up, Jeffrey Tatter? I do want to send our condolences out to What Times of Travel. He lost his mother. I believe she passed away Sunday. I know that feeling, man. It takes a while, to get over that. What's up, Roger? When you headed back over, man? You had a great time over there. All my old heads, that's Derek Casanara, Doubtful Genius, Soul Snatcher. Thank y'all, man. Y'all been around for a while. Any new viewers and subscribers with us tonight? Welcome. And anybody catching this on replay? The peso is 56.66. It's slipping, man, but I'm not going to complain. That's still a great rate, but it's slipping, guys. At one time, it was approaching 60. They were talking about 62 this year, but it's, the night's still young. We still got plenty of time. There it is. What times it travels. We send our sincerest condolences to your family on the loss of your mother. I still haven't been able to fill that void of losing my mother. And my mother died September of 1993. You know, we always have a topic. Tonight's topic is a good one. It's is your retirement savings enough? And we want to talk about that and some things that y'all may be doing and any suggestions y'all have for people like me trying to catch up. Because I know W Secrets of Success and TJ, I know a lot of those guys, they're into investing, man. I don't want to do anything too risky. Soul Snatcher said, congratulations on your success in getting your Social Security. I'm in the process right now. Yeah, people don't understand. I had a lot of people in my family pass away before they ever thought about collecting Social Security. It's a big deal to me. It's a big weight off my shoulder, knowing that no matter what happens, I can maintain my lifestyle overseas. But we want to talk a little bit about the video I did about it's 1,500, the new budget for living in the Philippines, rather comfortably. We talked about this before because it seems like people are stuck on 1,000. And I don't know why that is. Ever since I've been on YouTube for about 10 years, actually, watching it, people have talked about the $1,000 per month budget over there. Can you do it? Yeah, you can do it. But you're basically going to just be existing. If just being over there is enough for you, the sunshine, you got a nice woman, you're able to be active, and then 1,000 can do. But you're talking about tight, you're going to be tight. 1,500 gives you a little wiggle room. And when I did the video, I was talking about if you're going to be single. If you're going to have a woman with you, she may or may not have kids. You may have to crank that up a little bit. Y'all got to realize when I was doing it with 1,400, you got to realize, man, that was 4 years ago. You got to account for the cost of living, inflation, but we don't do that. What's up, Darren? I'm trying this new camera that Kaz gave me. It's the first time I used it. He said, shout out to the Sunshine Shows community from Juneau, Alaska. Wow. What's up, Harry Shoulders? the ZPD. There's Mike Dawsonville down in Florida. Hey, did y'all see where that plane, the engine caught fire in Orlando, Florida? I believe it was flying from Orlando to Atlanta. It was a Delta plane. Now, this is what I'm saying. I never brought this up. Okay. Wait, I don't know what's going on. I think it's this camera. But anyway, I flew Delta back from Philippines this time. And I used to be Delta, but all their equipment's so old now. Okay. All their equipment is so old. I wasn't impressed. When I flew from Seattle to Chicago, I mean, you know, when the plane is taxiing, you could just hear that it's too much squeaking. You could just hear that the plane needed brakes or something, man. And so for me to hear about that plane catching fire, luckily before it even took off, I think it was it on the tarmac? I just glimpsed at it. And I was like, wow. What's up, Ryan? Yeah, Kamal said condolences. Yeah, I'm on the clock now, man. I got less than a week. You know, I don't want to put my exact time out there. You know, believe it or not, guys, I'll be getting stalked and everything, man. You know, but if they want to keep on with their foolishness and waste their time, then let them do it. I'm not going to waste my time away worrying about some other man. But yeah, it's 5666. He said, yeah, I'm new. Yeah, it won't be long, though. He says, I'm kind of new. What's up, Sam? But yeah, that kind of caught my attention today, and I was wondering, like, this year there's been so many plane incidents, and you know that helicopter crash. It's more than I've ever seen in just this short period of time. I've never seen anything like this. It seems like every other week or something, somebody's crashing or having some type of incident. He said the American dream is gone, bro. Well, for some people, it's not. It depends on who you talk to. You see where, you know, what trips me out over here is the waste. Now, you saw where Gayle King and what Katy Perry and a few other people went up in space the other day. $28 million to go up there. I mean, you know, it must be nice to have that kind of money to just throw away. I'm sure they probably had sponsors. But see, it's just a waste over here. And, you know, you got people sleeping under bridges, veterans. You know, you got people who could use that money. People are just so insensitive over here with the waste. It's crazy. What's up, Raider? Daddy said, Dominique here from the Philippines. I got some bad news, Cal. Social Security canceled my disability benefits. So I need to hustle and get a remote job. Why? What happened? Why? Did they deem you able to work again or something? I mean, you know, did they send you out a letter or something? They don't just cut you off. Don't they give you some type of warning? Or do they, guys? You know, has anybody else been in that situation? How long were you receiving the benefits before they cut them off? Yeah, you need to be probably hurrying up and coming home, I guess. He said, back crypto. But the 1,500 will give you a little wiggle room, 2,000 if you got a woman. I mean, that way you living comfortable. You know, when we're going to talk about is your retirement savings enough? A lot of guys, believe it or not, I'm one of them. Southeast Asia is our retirement plan, believe it or not. You know, when I was growing up, I always equated retirement with just not working anymore and living off of your pension, you know, your retirement check you got every month. I never even knew that you're supposed to have savings to go along with that. That wasn't the way I understood it. I mean, growing up. But that's what I thought, because, you know, you work 30 years, you would think, okay, I've worked 30 years or 40 years, whatever it is. I paid off all my bills. I paid off my house, my car, and all of that. So now all I need is just my check every month. But it don't work like that, because we keep on buying. We'll buy stuff, man, when we get ready to retire. Harry Shoulders bought a nice car. He bought damn near a brand new car. I've got a friend of mine, and he's in retirement. I've got a friend of mine, he's still working. He's a couple of years older than me. He bought a brand new truck. I thought you're supposed to be ramping down your spending as you retire. Hey, what's up, Mike? He said that's $50 a day. Well, you know, the way I broke it down, once the dust settles, ladies and gentlemen watching this is what you have to understand. When you get to the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Bali, you're going to be in that vacation mode. You're going to spend a lot of money on the front end. You're going to spend more than $1,500 probably. I mean, but if that's all you got is $1,500, you're probably going to spend every bit of that. I was talking about once the dust settles, you know, and you kind of got into a routine, you know, you figured out where you're going to live, how you're going to live, who you're going to live with, and all that. Because when you first get there, your eyes are going to be wide open, man. You're going to want to hit all the beaches and whatever it is that you've been missing. He says, 9:31 a.m. in morning Manila. Yeah, I'm up. I can't wait. I'm flying into Manila because we're going to Puerto Galera. We've never been there. We're going to spend a week there before we go home. What's up, Mr. Passport King? But anybody over in the Philippines, what's your budget, Mr. Passport King? Anybody that's over there, Dwayne Thomas, how much are y'all spending? And how long you been there? I know Mr. Passport King's been there a while. He's a veteran. He says, I lived in Davao at $1,600 a month and kept that budget for 5 years. And see, that's pretty damn good. I mean, that's a pretty damn good budget, really. As long as you don't go crazy. He says the Philippines is too expensive for what they're offering. Compared to a lot of other places, that may be true, but compared to the United States, it's not. You just really got to find your sweet spot, man. You know, a lot of younger guys go over there and, you know, they want to live like they were living over here, going out all the time, eating out all the time, traveling all the time. I've settled down over there. Excuse me. Yeah, I've settled down over there. It's very inexpensive. You just got to know what you're doing. But yeah, if you compare it against Thailand and all of that, certainly when it comes to buying condominiums and stuff like that, but you can make it work over in the Philippines. You know, one thing I like about it is the fresh food, man, the fresh air. See, where I live, man, it's not all congested. You can't smell exhaust fumes. If you go to Dumaguete, man, it's Dumaguete's just gotten so congested now. When you get in a tricycle and you can smell those exhaust fumes, man, I don't like that. You don't even have that in St. Carlos City. I mean, it's fresh air. And I can just go to Center Mall and just walk around, ride my bike, do whatever I want to do. Because, man, I've been there and done that, man, all that partying and You know, we'll get an itch every now and then. Me and Merlin, we'll go to Bacala, or we'll go to Cebu or somewhere like that. But for the most part, you know, we just be chilling, man, going to the gym. We might go over to Sapaway Island like that. What's up, Juice? He says, I planned for 30 years for retirement. He says, I'm good. Now, what did you do? This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people who may not have a plan. How old were you when you started saving for retirement? Because they say the ideal age is in your 20s. But is that really reasonable? Is anybody thinking of retirement in their 20s, really? The smart people are. Yeah, I'm just trying it. It's a lot better than that phone. See, I'm on my laptop, and I don't know what happened to it because it wasn't doing this before. Okay, it's not in fragments anymore. He said, quick question, can you own land and property in the Philippines without being a citizen? Under normal circumstances, you can. But, you know, people always ask that question. It's usually people that don't own land in their own country. It's people you can trust over there. I mean, if that's something you're worried about, I wouldn't spend a whole lot of money. I don't know why we go over there. Well, I know why Americans do. We're keeping up with the Joneses. We're consumer junkies. That's the reason why we go over to the Philippines and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on houses. When I'm thinking, you don't have to do that. I mean, I showed y'all that you don't have to do it. But there's people you can trust over there. I'm more liable to get scammed in America than I am in the Philippines. I'm more afraid of getting scammed here. This is where the scammers are, y'all. Y'all don't understand that. A little place like the Philippines, man. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. It was some Americans that they busted a few years ago. These guys was earning millions of dollars. They were Americans, though. They were scamming other foreigners over there with these investment scams and stuff. I'm more afraid of getting scammed over here than in the Philippines. But yeah, to answer your question, under normal circumstances, no, but you can have, you can actually own the property because, of course, you can buy a condominium. You can lease the land. A 50-year lease? Hell, I'm 62. I'll be 62 in a couple of weeks. That would make me 112. And you just deed it over to your kids. See, Booby's a citizen. He said, hit the like button. Disability doesn't just get cut off unless there's fraud. Yes, something's going on there. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. He said some people in the U.S. are able to be comfortable in retirement because they paid their house and cars off before they retired. Some people moved in and inherited home without a mortgage. Yeah. But you still better have a nice piece of money coming in every month. You still got to pay the bills on there. You still pay homeowners insurance. You still pay taxes. You got to put gas in the car. You got car insurance. All that don't stop when you retire. And it's just so expensive here. You know, depending on how old you are, you still got your health care. He leaves for the U.S. tomorrow morning. Wow. I know that feeling, man. He said, my grandfather purchased a new car every couple of years after retirement. I always thought it was one of the bonuses because you own everything and have extra money. Because you what? Because you what? Because you have adult children. Well, I don't own any bills in retirement. Unless it's my electric bill or my, water bill and stuff like that. He said, more Americans are leaving America. It's shocking. I also want to leave too, so bad. Yeah, and then there's more people coming to take our place. That's been the retirement plan for a lot of people. They're going to make that $1,500, $2,000 per month work. They didn't start saving in their 20s and 30s and even 40s. But if you're smart and you move to a place in Southeast Asia, you can really catch up if you know what you're doing. He said, I retired from the military in 2007 and just retired from my second job. The Philippines have a good VA medical facilities. They've got a clinic there, and I think it's service connected injuries. But, I was talking now, when I get back, I'm going to go ahead and Michael Onstad, he quoted me for 1 million pesos, which is all I need for about 26,000 pesos for the whole year. See, what is that? That's not even $500. You get that when you're young. That's like an emergency, but that's really for like an emergency plan. The best thing to do is take better care of yourself. I know some people it's too late for that, but for others it's not. You want your hospitalization just in case. But I'm not going to sit around and wait to get sick. But yeah, they've got it up right down from the U.S. Embassy. He says, I appreciate your content. No bullshit, straightforward talk. We love Vietnam. Happy for you. Enjoy the Philippines. But I've got a friend over there now, CJ Healthy Life, and he loves Vietnam. It's just the Philippines did it for me, and I'm simple, man. I'm really a simple guy. I grew up simple, and I get the Philippines. I get it. What bothers most people doesn't bother me. The people are just so friendly. And that's what I like. I was treated like a celebrity long before Sunshine Shoulders. It's just the way I'm treated over there. And I love the tropical weather. Ever since I was little, I knew I was going to live somewhere where it never got cold. And I didn't even know a place like that existed. And, it's just, for me, it's expensive. I mean, it's inexpensive. Because I figured it out a long time ago. I'm not trying to buy one of those expensive condominiums. I spoke to a guy in Bacolod. I was at the immigration. He was an American. He was on his way back to get some medical work done. Him and his wife, it was his fiance at the time. They're married now. They built, and he showed me pictures and everything. A nice 2-bedroom, has just them two, $12,000. That's when something went off in my head. I was like, wow, you can build this for $12,000? Yeah, I had no idea. So I said, okay, what can I get for $1 million? Because he said they spent $600,000. Because at that time, the peso was 50, even 50. I said, well, I wonder what I could get for $1 million pesos. And you see what I got for $1 million pesos. That's all we need. I don't understand what guys, they could sell their house over here and there's their retirement money in the Philippines or in Vietnam or one of those places, Thailand. He said, sounds like it depends on your age range. Yeah, they were talking about, when I was doing this research, I was just Googling stuff. And they said the average person in my age range from 55 to 64 had $537,000 in their retirement account. And, people like Dave Ramsey and different people, they talk to a certain audience. They really aren't talking to people like me. They're talking about people who invest and who've been investing, because that's a lot of money. I know people now who have that kind of money, but I never knew those kind of people growing up. That's a lot of money. The median amount is $185,000. He said my sweet spot is to move to only Southeast Asia, which is either move to Thailand or Vietnam permanently. Yeah, that's it. He said, as far as budget, I think I average around $1,600 a month, but that would change now that I bought a house. Now, did you buy a house or did you have it built? Or you bought one already built? He said, by the time I retire in about 7 years, I'll have about $6,500 a month. That should be enough. See, you look at it the same way I look at it. We don't talk about it in terms of how much savings we have. And very few people on my channel do. They always talk about how much their monthly budget is going to be, or how much they're going to be drawing in. And that's how they equate money with their retirement. It's not, how much money you got in the bank where you're drawing interest off your 401k or your IRA or something. He said, hello, Cal, I'm praying to be able to retire from my career at the end of 2027. He said, I have plans to have 2 international domiciles, Rwanda and somewhere in Southeast Asia, looking at Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines. Yeah, that's a good plan. And I see a lot of people are coming over here. There's a young lady I was watching a video. I think Derek Casanara sent it to me. And she was talking about how inexpensive her life is over in Thailand. I think she was single. That's one thing a lot of women are able to do. They're able to move over there and be single for however long they want. They can somehow work that out. But she was living really well on about $1,200 US per month. And she even was able to get her condo with no deposit. He says, I didn't retire to not afford to do what I want to do. If you have to retire, I get it. I live in Thailand on $3,500 a month and save some. I would still work if I couldn't do it. Yeah, I'm not going to deny myself either. And you don't have to if you go ahead and do the right thing. One thing that I've seen us do, no matter where you move to, you just start making too many decisions too fast. We're in such a hurry. And that gets us in a lot of trouble. We start getting married. We start building houses. We start doing stuff too soon. We don't even know if we're going to like the place. We don't even know if we're going to like the woman or she's going to like us. We don't know anything. And we immediately go over there and start doing that stuff. That's the biggest drawback I've seen. People moving overseas. Take your time. I've been coming to the Philippines since 2009. April 2009, I didn't build a house, and I only spent $20,000 on my house. It was 2021. We're just moving too fast. When you retire, you're supposed to be relaxing. You come and go as you please. Why are you in such a hurry? He said, that's a great point. Protect your health if you're over a certain age. Well, hell, What do you mean? Over a certain age. You got to protect your health. See, that's why we get sick. Because when you think you're going to stay 20 and 30 your whole life. And it's just like retirement, you keep kicking the can down the road. Oh, I'm going to start exercising tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. And next thing you know, you're overweight. It's easy to gain weight. It's hard to get rid of it. Hey, Jerry and Sheila Island Living, thanks for that super chat. He said, hey, brother, thank you for sharing your story. We enjoy watching your channel, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's really all I got. And, you know, people always asking me for suggestions when they start their channel. I said, well, just talk about your life, man. That way people can relate to you. And who knows your life better than you? Nobody. That way you don't need a script. You don't need to make up stuff. It's when you start getting in a lane that you know you don't need to be in. Stop talking about topics and start talking about your life and your experiences. What was like moving overseas? Were you afraid? You know, the good, the bad, and all of that. We won't do it, though. We want to talk about topics. So the first video you make, you come off like an expert. And you only been there a month. Hey, thank you, Truth and Transparency. He says, Cal, appreciate your videos. Keep posting the great content. Safe travels. Man, thank you. I mean that, man. But yeah, I got a friend. He's in Vietnam right now. He's thinking of, I think his next, well, y'all met him before. I interviewed him. Achilles, remember from Panama? He got on a plane and flew from Panama to the Philippines. He likes the Philippines, but he likes Vietnam better. He said he just likes the people in the Philippines better. He said they don't smile a lot in Vietnam. And he said what really messed him up, he went to that war museum, and I said, well, hell, you probably shouldn't have did that. He said, I'm glad you got your Social Security, Cal. Yeah, I am too, man. You know, you go back and forth with people. And because I told you, the question that was asked, it was, wait, where is it? I wrote it down. And it says, wait, maybe I wrote it over here. Well, it says, they're 62. And can he, okay, here it is right here. Can I retire at 62 with 400,000 in a 401k? The answer was yes, but it will be tight. Now, here's what the experts, here's the advice the experts gave him. They said, to keep working for 5 more years and you'll have a quite comfortable retirement. Well, hell, if you can't retire at 62 with 400,000 and your Social Security, I would say, then hell, you're never going to be able to retire. I mean, they're talking as if, you know, they know you're going to be living 5 years from now. The older that you get, the more likely it is you're going to have some type of sickness or some type of ailments or something. I made the video, retire while you're healthy, man. What good is it going to do that you worked all those years and you can't really enjoy it? If me and I dying really 73 years, okay, so you're going to wait till you're 67. So what do you get? 6 years. I retired at 55, man. I'm glad I did. He said, do you get a VA check? I don't. He said, hey, Jacob, all good here in Bahal. What's up, Michael Beach Your Life? Okay, I see you, Pastor Joaquin. He said it was more of an investment. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about on my video. You can catch up, man, when you move to a place like that. See? And here's a money guy right here. If anybody got any questions, this is his profession. But he just bore witness to what I said. He said the number one retirement mistake is spending too fast in the beginning, in a hurry. And that's what I've seen when people move overseas. We just start making all these just rash decisions. Imagine coming over here and marrying, getting married so fast. But yeah, that's the one mistake I see us make. Okay, yeah, here's what I was talking about. He said the house was more of an investment with a more lavish house planned after I can access my IRA, if I still have one after this financial fiasco. Yeah, I know a lot of people lost a lot, and they're betting that he knows what he's doing, but right now it doesn't look like it. There was no plan for that. He's stubborn. He won't listen to the people around him, and there's going to be a backlash. It's coming, man. I don't think he's going to last 4 years. The people are going to revolt. You see, the Secretary of Defense, he done leaked more information about that attack on Yemen to his wife and his brother and all that. He's just a blockhead, man. They got a bunch of blockheads up there that don't know what they're doing. He should be in prison, man. That's treason, what he's doing. But don't nobody want to say nothing, When you talk about that kind of stuff, don't talk about politics. Why not? Who you going to leave it to talk to? Talk about it, I mean. The experts, the news people. You can't trust what's on the news. You got to learn to think for yourself. Can't you think for yourself? What you're seeing in front of you is really what you're seeing. But they'll tell you something else. Now you see a blockhead up there, a bunch of them, making some screwed up mistakes, man, that we may never recover from. I was looking up some stuff today, and it shocked me because I said, well, let me research and see if Bibles, because everything's made in China. I just Googled, are the Bibles we read in America printed in China? I'll be damned if they are. Every damn thing's in China. How you going to beat China when we're banning everything from China? And now they're posting, I don't know how, true these videos are that they're posting, but I was in the liquidation business for about 5 years. I don't know if it's that extreme, but Chinese are talking about this is how much it really costs to make that purse you're paying $5,000 for. And of course, we know the Jordans and all that. It's going to be a backlash. But they act like you're not supposed to say anything. Well, nobody else is standing up for us. He said, yeah, many people assume they have time. Yeah. Well, you know what that assume is? Making an ass out of you and me. Yeah, see, the Philippines are the greatest neighbors, man. I get the Philippines. I see, by growing up in America and growing up the way that I did, I get it. I mean, I don't have a problem over there. It's not like I live in the province or the squatters area or something like that. I really live a comfortable lifestyle over there. I've never had a problem, man. I had a brand new iPhone about almost 5 years ago. Well, no, almost 6 years ago when I first met Marilyn. And I left it in the van. I got the damn thing back the same day. Well, they couldn't get into it. That helped, but that wouldn't have mattered over here. I wouldn't have got that thing back. They'd have found some way to break that thing and get into it. But I've just never had a problem. No one's ever tried to pickpocket me. No one's ever broken in my house. I mean, nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. And some of those places over there, you're still on planet Earth, man. They just call it the Philippines. It's just breathtaking, man. You be sitting out on the beach. I'm talking about, man, I've been working my whole life. I didn't have time to do all of that. And to be able to do it at a fairly young age, man, I get it over there. I'm not going anywhere. He said, Cal made a plan for 2025. Eliminate all debt, check. Fully fund emergency account. Buy more land in Rwanda, 5 to 10 hectares. Losing weight and getting the best shape possible. See, that's a plan. But most of us, our only plan is to move somewhere where it's less, it's less expensive. At least you got that plan. Some people are afraid to do that. He said, I'm 51, about to pay off my mortgage completely next month. Retire for what? I have my own retirement plan. Yeah, some people, me and Robert was talking today, and he's having a blast on his job today, hairy shoulders. And I said, well, they say, if you love your job, you'll never work another day in your life. Everybody's situation is different, though. I don't know if there's any insurance agents out here. And I was good at what I did, but after a while, man, you get burnt out doing that. I'm like, there's got to be more to life than this. Yeah, I was bringing in big money, and it was spending it as quick as I was bringing it in. What's up, Cooper? Cooper Side Venture, man, your channel just exploded, man. Because you got good information, man. You got a good thing going over there. He said, hey, Cal, Morocco just raised electricity rates another 30% in the Philippines, and water just doubled, for your information. Well, not where I live. He said, Thailand only gone up 1% the last 5 years. Now you're getting free money. You might want to move. No, I'm not going to move. And like I said, I'm going to make it work. I don't have a problem in the Philippines, but you did take a part of the Philippines with you. Your wife is from the Philippines. People always talk about the Philippines, but hell, you go to bed at night with a part of the Philippines. So I just say be happy wherever you are. I'm happy in the Philippines. I'm happy as a lark, man. I mean, I am. And a lot of the guys I'm around, they're happy. As more people coming, it just depends on who you are. See, the thing that's creeping up really now, it's really like all the guys in Thailand, the expats in Thailand versus the expats in the Philippines. Oh, I'm smarter than you. I got more money than you. Look, I'm living better than you. We don't even get into that. Just be happy wherever you are. But they ain't you got problems where it just depends on where you live. But you have to learn, man. He said, talking about politics isn't the problem. Not listening to the other side is. Yeah, we just scream at each other and nothing gets done. Well, we're dealing with a cult now, though. He said, everything's made in China. Yeah. So why you want to have a trade war with China? And then our closest allies, no one's ever done it. But when you question that, they say, oh, the art of the deal, like he's really a smart man. This guy ran casinos into the damn ground. How you going to run a casino into the ground? Yeah. Okay. He said the tariffs are working. Well, how? How are they working? See, this is what you run into, Blizzard Abroad. They'll put this on her. Well, show us how they're working. This guy crashed the stock market by himself, cost the hardworking men and women in this country billions and billions of dollars, and enriched a lot of the people around him. There was no plan for that. What's up, Luke? I'm on the clock already. He says, even with the price increase, it's still cheaper than the U.S. Yeah, and you got to take the whole picture with the Philippines if you want to weigh them up like that. Yeah, America's got every damn thing over here. You know how much I went and bought some of this today because I'm taking it back. Maryland uses this Aveano. You know how much one of these would cost in the Philippines? You can't buy it. But the little bitty one that comes about right here, about half of this, it's 1,000 pesos, 1,035 pesos. So America's got all of that, but that's about all it's got. We just over here buying stuff. Everybody associates their worth and their value by their material stuff. I'm walking up the street doing my walk today. Here comes some guy just flying, and he's got what is it? It's either, what's the Dodge? Not the, they just think like, look at me. So yeah, they got all the money and stuff like that, but that's all they got. Yeah, we've been doing this. The problem is people want to pretend to be stupid. I ran a liquidation business, especially with jewelry, gold jewelry especially. We're paying out the nose for gold jewelry. And a lot of times when you go to these pawn shops and buy jewelry, gold jewelry, it's not all gold. They done mixed it with bronze and all kinds of stuff. I was getting it from the real wholesaler, which he was like the middleman. But I was still making a killing. I was still getting it at half price. So imagine what it really, when you really buy it from the distributor. But yeah, I know we've been paying for everything, your cars and everything. But see, we're so dumbed down over here. Remember I said, okay, that America is 51st in the world in literacy, meaning reading and writing. Well, some guy pushes back on there. Guess what he pushes back? Oh, we're 36. Yeah, like that's really an improvement. We're 51st. So it's easy to trick us. They've got us on this materialism kick. So we pretend to be rich over here. I've seen it, man. I've been out of the country for 6 years, and I see it so clearly now. That was me before. Now, man, I wore the same clothes, not being cheap, because I buy good stuff. When I went over there, I had real Adidas and everything like that. I was wearing the same stuff, man, for 6 years, except if somebody gave me something. It just doesn't ring my bell anymore. It doesn't do anything to me anymore like it used to. People look at me when I'm walking like I'm a bum. Well, where's your car? And all of that over here. So yeah, we really got that bad. So the bigger the truck and all that stuff, Hey, what's up? He said, I just looked at Moralco electric rates. It's 9 pesos per kilowatt. That's hardly worth running away from. Yeah, Cooper Thai Ventures, he lived in the Philippines for a few years. His wife's from the Philippines. But now all of a sudden, the Philippines is such this bad place. I'm glad he's happy over in Thailand, but don't try to rain on my parade. It's not that much, I'm glad you did that because, don't just listen to what people say. Hell, I take that 9 because I think I'm paying like 13 right now. I forget what I was up to when my bill was 17,000, but here's what the people did in the Philippines in St. Carlos City. They pushed back, and it hasn't been nowhere near that ever since. He said my 401k doesn't know the tariffs are working. Yeah, a lot of people I know lost a lot of money, man, in their 401k. Which, you never get that money back. Your account may get back to where it was, but you'll never get the money you lost back. Everything is from China or Taiwan, which is China, and Hong Kong. We don't make anything. And to think he's got people food to think those jobs are coming back to America, you crazy. Not in your lifetime. They're not. There is no way out. It's the only way out is what he's doing now, retreating. He put a pause, because those oligarchs look at this bond market. People are losing trust in America. Fool, whatever you doing, because ain't nobody knocking on your damn door. He said, they took my lotion. Well, that's going in my check-in. Everything's made in China, man. He said, arguing about politics is usually a waste of time. Your president is an idiot. My girlfriend and I disagree over Duterte. I think Duterte was evil, but my girlfriend and the rest of the city worship the man. Yeah, they got a little bit more history than you do, Angelo, and they got a different culture. They like safety. They like, getting up early in the morning because they got to get up real early to catch the jeepney and stuff like that. They don't want somebody coming around snatching their phones and purses and stuff like that. And Duterte cleaned that up. They're all evil, those people at the top. You don't think when the United States dropped those atomic bombs, you don't think that's evil? You don't think all the other clandestine stuff that the United States has done is not evil? Those drone attacks killing all those innocent people, man, that's evil. But we got that big propaganda machine over here that tells you that there's something noble about that. Ain't nothing noble about that. They're telling you all the innocent people they killing over there. Look what's going on in Israel, over in the Gaza Strip. You don't think they're evil? Man, Duterte can't shake a stick against those people over there. So it's just your opinion. But we're pretending to be rich over here. Everybody wants to be rich. These. I mean, they're flying, man. Y'all see the street out front here. And I'm like, I've been here for a little bit over 6 weeks. I've seen 4 accidents out there. When I moved out here in 2004, at the end of 2004, you could walk across that street blindfolded. There was nothing out here. I promise you, nothing was out here. He said, we're heading to a recession due to the tariffs. Dealerships are advertising buying cars now before 25% tariffs take effect. Tariffs are working to bankrupt us. Yeah, but you got people who, we're all in this together, really. I don't care who you voted for. We work side by side. So if the cost of living goes up for me, it's going to go up for you. But for you to be in denial and say it's working, it is. We pay that. He said if we all gave up on consumerism, the system would collapse and we would be speaking. Japanese within a decade. Well, see, we got sold out, Mike, a long time ago. We got tricked into this by these corporations. That would be the only way that we could really fight back, is to stop buying shit. If you stop buying stuff, then maybe China will come to the table. But we just keep on buying, no matter how much it goes up. We're going to keep buying. We're consumer crackheads, man. It don't matter how much them Jordans cost, they still going to buy them. Imagine the Chinese that already came on TV and said, hey, look, it only costs us $3 to make these Jordans that you paying $250 for. It don't matter. We don't care. And the same ones that they're paying $250 for, if they go up to $350, they're still going to buy it. And if the iPhones go from $1,100 to $2,100, they're still going to buy it. He said, any update on exchange rate? Well, it's 56.66 when I came on. And it's went down. You know, we were looking at 62, I thought, this year. You know. And, you know, here's what I'm saying. They throw this, here's the thinking that people don't even see. Because we don't think for ourselves. We're just looking at the news. Now, Madagascar. Okay, he comes on there and says, oh, he puts that big tariff on Madagascar. We're bad. Well, you know, we've got a trade deficit with them, right? They don't have any damn money, stupid. Of course, we're going to have a trade deficit with them. We're buying more stuff from them than they're buying from us. He said, for the majority of us, the reason why we moved over there is not to just retire. The real reason is for the women, and that's a fact. Well, some of people, but Mike, I'm telling you now, there's more and more guys, man. They come to my meet and greets. I know them. A lot of guys, man, they don't have a woman over there. Yeah, a lot of guys do, but that's their excuse. Their excuse is I'm going over there for a woman because they're too embarrassed to tell you why they're really going over there. The woman just gives them an excuse. Now they don't have to explain to you that, hey, I can't live over here on $1,500 a month, but I can do pretty good over there in the Philippines and have a girlfriend at the same time. But in the back of their mind, they know the woman is just an excuse. It's an easy way for them to go over there without explaining to you that they didn't save enough for retirement. Because if they go over there for a woman and that short money that they're taking over there, eventually they're going to be coming back. Eventually they're going to be coming back. But you know, I'm going to tell you something. I'm surrounded by foreigners and I don't care, okay? I was at because the American dream is still alive. It's just not for Americans. Okay, it's a lot of Cubans and Hispanics that live in this community. Man, they living good. They got businesses and everything. You know, they're saying, you know, hey, they're starving over in Cuba and some of these places where they're coming from, Venezuela and all those places, right? Then they come over here. First thing they want to do is drive. So they get a nice car. They got a job. They got money in their pocket. They're wearing gold jewelry. They're living the American dream over here. People like us, we're spoiled. We've been here our whole lives. It's like, you know, you have to leave and go somewhere before you even appreciate what you got here. But I was in Speedway the other day, and see, the guy in front of me was me when I'm in the Philippines. Now, he's buying cigarettes. I don't smoke, but he's buying cigarettes. He can't speak English. I can't speak Tagalog. So he's showing the lady on the phone. You know, I mean, this guy couldn't even say thank you. He couldn't say nothing. But I felt him, though. Because if if Filipinos didn't speak English to me, I would be in his shoes. So I had compassion for him. But the lady behind the counter and the people in the line, man, they had very little patience for him. But yeah, the American dream is still alive, man. We've taken it for granted all this time. He said Canada is known as the new India. He said manufacturing jobs will come back to America once our economy crashes. He says we'll be the sweatshop of the world, and China would take our place as the world's leading consumerism. Well, India and China, they've been creeping up anyway because, America has what? About 350 million people or something. 380 million. I should have checked that. Well, the middle class in China is equal to our entire population, same as in India. It used to be a time when we were the only ones that could afford all that fancy stuff. And we could get it for a decent price. But I don't think it's ever going to be. We talked about this before. Before the United States goes down like that, the United States, Angelo Habib was talking about evil. And the United States will blow this whole world up before that happens. That ain't going to happen like that. We got all these nuclear weapons and all that stuff like that. That's why they keep building up this military. For no reason at all. There's no reason at all. Yeah, he said Agent Orange was evil. He was talking about Duterte was evil. Man, Duterte looks like a choir boy compared to some of the people that come through America. He said, I just saw that this guy said the tariffs are working. And it is working against us. Yeah. He said, oh, yeah, I think Israel's bad too. Yeah, man, they're evil. That's evil over there. But to say Duterte's evil, I mean, Yeah. I'm going to send a ballot by inbox, just one. But I'm just going to take a few things like Merlin wanted some Under Armour shoes to work out in. So I'm going to buy some of those and mainly lotion. And because like the Cetaphil is what Booby uses. It's just too expensive over there. Over here it's cheap. You can get a big bottle of Cetaphil over here for $11. You can't afford, man, don't you know that stuff over there? Excuse me. Cetaphil, in the only place you can get Cetaphil is in Watson's over there. Man, it's 2,500 pesos. That's almost $50 for what you can get for $11 over here in Walmart. So I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff like that. And then of course chocolate. At some point, when you live in a place, see, here's what's wrong with America. The same thing was wrong with DeVal. They needed a strong hand. They needed a strong hand because a lot of us over here in America, we're undisciplined. We're not going to do, most of us will, but there's a great part of our society that's not going to do the right thing. And you need somebody with a strong arm. I mean, not shoot them in the back and all that stuff. He said, hey, Cal, did you see the new Western leaders like France? Government tried to kill Burkina Faso president, the fifth assassination attempt. I didn't see that. Yeah, that's what he's doing. I mean, he's believe it or not, man, he thinks like a third grader. That's the type of thinking he had. He's not in his right mind. History's going to show that something's going on with him right now. He's getting close to dementia. Yeah, man didn't matter either, but just the fact that, you know, this used to be, okay, they used to vote Democrat in Kentucky. It don't matter who you vote for. They're going to, Kentucky's Republican now. Yeah, but it is though, honestly. He said using girlfriend excuses, hilarious. You know, people they'll even fool themselves. They're thinking, yeah, I'm going over here. But all they want to know is how much money do I need to live comfortably over there? Because really, that's the deciding factor. They only think they're going over there for a woman. They better get over there. They better hope a woman over there wants them, because you're not going to be able, man, you can't live a decent life on $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 a month over here. I'm sorry. You ain't going to be doing a whole lot. You're going to be doing mostly free stuff, going to church, bingo, and all that stuff, man. I told you I was just walking from the store a couple of days ago. They had a 2-bedroom. This is Louisville, Kentucky. This isn't Chicago. This isn't New York, LA. 2-bedroom, 1 bath. They want $975 a month for it. Okay, now that's hell. You got $1,500. That's what you got, 525 left. You got to pay utilities. You got to eat. It costs, how much does it cost to ride? I think it's, did my brother say it's, I forgot how much he said it costs to ride the bus. I think it's $250 to ride the bus. I mean, how are you going to survive over here off of that? You're going to have to go into the warehouse, the senior citizen warehouse. That's what you're going to have to do. I'd be damned if they're going to warehouse me. I saw it, guys. I saw it. It was in my subconscious mind. I was on the front line helping older Americans and seniors for 16 years. It registered in my subconscious mind. I don't want to live like this. All they did was come out there. They didn't even leave the building. They come out and go down in the community room, either watch TV. Somebody like me is over there talking to them about diabetes or whatever it was, bingo and different things like that. That was it. And, you know, of course, you know, Sunday they went to church. And these people are young, but you get old real quick living like that. I mean, you really have to have a hell of a plan. You really have to have retirement. You know that they're talking about you need $1 million. That's the norm to retire in America. Who's got $1 million, man? Probably if there's 284 people on this live stream, that would mean I would say 1%, maybe 1 or 2 people have $1 million in the bank, in their retirement account. That's a lot of money, man. Are you talking about having? And for the people who were able to do that, who started saving for their retirement in their 20s, okay, who put off that instant gratification, who drove the same car and all of that, and they didn't go to the extreme like Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela wore the same suit for 5 years straight, every single day, to save up money to build the first house for his wife and family. Imagine that. What kind of dedication you must have. If you like to read, it's a big book. To read that, The Long Walk to Freedom. He wore when he became a lawyer, he was a new lawyer. He wore the same suit every day. He said people would look at him like, you got that same suit on. Again, every day to work for 5 years. If you got that type of dedication and discipline, and you know you got that plan in your head, that's laser focus. When you don't even care. We don't have that over here because we worry about what people think about us. We worry too much, and it affects your performance. You start doing shit for other people. Most of the guys that you see out here riding around in nice cars, jewelry, looking good, they're doing it for some other man. They're trying to impress some other man. They're not even doing it for the women. Ain't no jobs coming back here, man. He says, it's a shame public education doesn't teach you about saving for retirement. Yeah, they say, well, you're supposed to learn that at home. Well, how am I supposed to learn at home? Well, my father and mother worked like a Hebrew slave. That's what I thought retirement was. Okay, you work for 30 or 40 years, you retire, and they give you a check every month. How you going to save when you're taking care of 5 or 6 children, you're paying for a mortgage, you know, you might have an old raggedy car that they charging you 25% interest on. Some people are caught up in that cycle, man. Well, hell, they can't do any worse. They can't do any worse than what's already being done. He said, my American dream is to be able to travel to places outside of America, ironically. Yeah, you know, the earth is 197 million square miles, about 58 million square miles of land. Nowhere is it written that you have to stay in the same place your whole entire life. And what happens is, when you start traveling, you're going to see something different. You're going to see something that you really like. You're going to be like, well, let me try this. And then, you know, because of all we're not drinking Kool-Aid anymore, guys. We're drinking poison over here. Now you start having a guilt feeling. Oh, you know, I've let America down. You know, I'm unpatriotic because I wanted to live my fourth quarter doing something different besides working. My sister's 74. She'll be 75. And even though she's in good shape, great shape, I'll be damned if I'm going to work at 75. She had no choice. She got 8 more years to pay off that house. Okay? He said we have to hope that the policy does not change for the expats living abroad concerning receiving Social Security pay. Trump is playing a knockdown game for the Americans with Elon Musk. Well, see, one thing it is going to affect is these countries are going to start pushing back, man. Can you imagine? We're not discriminating anymore, basically. If you're an immigrant over here, man, we're treating you bad, real bad. And so when Americans start traveling abroad, they're going to start treating us real bad. They're not going to roll out the red carpet like they used to. They used to roll out the red carpet for Americans, man. Not anymore. We're the laughing stock of the world. I mean, they're treating immigrants real bad. You know, they're not even asking if you legal or not. You know, and then, you know, it's cocksuckers sitting up here, you know, there's truth in a lot of that joking that he claims he's joking. He's going to start sending American citizens out there. If you're going to just ignore the Supreme Court, okay, once they send your ass over there, look at that guy. They ain't in no hurry to bring you back. He said, what's your emergency plan? Well, I already put that in action. I didn't move around any place where that was going to be a problem for me. He said, what's your emergency action plan for typhoon, earthquake, mudslide, tsunami? Where I live, we're not affected by that. And that's why I suggest that any expat, don't just move to the Philippines. You better know where you're moving over there. You really better know where you're moving. Okay? Yeah, they ship to the Philippines. But just while I'm here, I might as well do it, because depending on what the items are, you can get free shipping for over $49. But yeah, the best plan is to plan ahead. Bearded talk. Do not move to those areas. Central Luzon, the Bicol region. You know, all you got to do is, when you see these natural disasters hit, they hit in the same places over and over and over. Every now and then you may get something like happened in 2021, where they got Typhoon Odette, the first typhoon that's, actually made landfall in central Luzon, probably in Maryland couldn't remember. And, Maryland was 39 at the time, and she couldn't remember. But yeah, it's best that you plan ahead and don't just move anywhere. I've got friends, man, who live in Samar. Now, Samar is always hit. They live in Samar. They live in Tacloban, that eastern Visayas region. Man, that's Typhoon Alley. You're going to get hit once a year. He says, hey, Cal, do you think it's worth it to pay for an SRV? I just found out about a few years ago. I didn't know it existed. What are you talking about? An SIRV? You mean a special investment retirement visa you're talking about? Or are you just talking about an SRRV? I'm pretty sure it is. They made somebody a Philippine citizen. He's from Canada, by the way. But yeah, I believe it is. I think, you can, that's something that I'm not going to try to practice Philippine law without a license, but I'm not sure of that. No, I wouldn't want to talk about politics all the time, make my head hurt. But, we just bring up stuff, what's going on right now. He said, Cal, you're hilarious, man. I love watching your videos. I'm 30. I need to get to the doctor. I don't know why I came back to the USA. Yeah, you got to go to the doctor, man. The guy said, oh, yeah, you can get in shape once you get a certain age. Man, you better start working out now. Don't wait. Yeah, just retire. See, that's what I'm saying. But I was talking to Juice in Chicago, and I asked him, I said, man, why do these people stay in politics so long? He said, because the life is good. There's no better. I'd rather be a politician, a dyed-in-the-wool, firmly set politician in my region than a celebrity, because you are a celebrity. You're gonna live just as good. You got security, you got drivers, you get all this special treatment, and they get used to that. So you see people like Mitch McConnell, Joe Biden, Trump. They're just way over the hill, man. They're way over the hill. You're not going to trust them to do anything else but run your damn country. Yeah, a lot of people voted for Trump. As I was listening to an interview, and the lady, you can't get any poor. They live in the poorest region, and it was either Pennsylvania or West Virginia. Out of 342 counties in America, they're in the bottom two. Okay, the average household income is less than $30,000 a year, and they voted for Trump, right? But they said they did it as revenge against the other politicians for not keeping their promises. And I felt that. Like, okay, I get it now. But hell, why him though? Why put him in there? He said, best you can do is rent a room and pray. Yeah, over here, I'll be warehouse, man. I'll be damn, I'm not gonna do it. I seen what they do to our seniors, man, old Americans. It's pitiful, man. It's evil. What we do. That's evil. They warehouse them in those big senior high-rise buildings and forget all about them. Man, you talking about bed bugs and all that stuff, man. They eat them people up, man. Because you can't choose who's going in there. They got an age limit. You got people in there who are bedridden. You got people in wheelchairs. You know, it's just like it's really a nursing home, really. That's what they are, man. But except they don't have any workers. Imagine just being set free in a damn nursing home. You on your own, basically. Y'all think I'm playing, man. As an insurance agent, man, I used to go the extra mile, man. I go over people's houses, and their families done forgot all about them. I would ask a few of my friends, man. We would go on Saturdays and clean these people's apartments, man. That's how bad it was. And it's all stuck up in my head. I'm like, man, I don't want to live like this. I don't care what I got to do. I already had started coming to the Philippines. So I already knew. I was like, man, you know, that sounds like a good place. You know. Because people always tell me, oh, the prices are going up, electric's going up, this and that's going up. You take that 2,000 to the Philippines, man, you living damn good over there. Or Thailand, or Vietnam, Malaysia. You know, you just got to have the courage to go and do it. I'll be damned if I'm going to suffer over here and be a part of that system. You ain't going to be with a spoke in the damn wheel. Hey, winning with Isaac, thanks for that super chat. He said, keep doing your thing, man. I'm screaming. I think it's my buddy right here coming up. Michael Onstad. Let's see. Yeah. That's Michael Onstad. Thanks for that super chat. He said, see you soon. Yeah, I'm going to go on and get that policy that he quoted me. I'm going to lead by example. You know, I was grandfathered into the field of health. But I know I need more. And it's just, you know, this is an emergency. This is my emergency right there. You know, people talking about, how do you have an emergency fund? Yeah, that policy right there, 1 million pesos. Because I'm going to take care of myself. Only time you see me in the hospital if somebody runs me over. You know, and that could happen. But this is the man to see. You know, when I was talking about, you know, I can't afford to live here anymore. I'm forced out of America, guys. I'm telling you the truth. I'm young, man. I'm fairly young for my age. I'm active. I'm not going to sit around, play bingo and all that stuff like that. I need health care over here. Man, they don't tell how much my health care will run. Okay? Over here. I'm an insurance agent. I know it's going to be way up there. Even though for a man, our health coverage is cheaper, our premiums, because we don't use it. But our life insurance is more expensive because we die sooner. And they're connected. These actuaries, they know what they're doing. They saying, okay, these guys, they won't even use their health coverage. Let's give them a good rate, a lower rate than the women, because they're not going to use it. And consequently, they're going to die faster. So now we're going to jack their premiums up on their life insurance. Way, man, if you get a man or woman healthy, let's say 62 years old, a healthy man and a healthy woman, man, his insurance premiums are going to be damn near double hers. Crazy, right? He said, no way my mom is going out like that. We took good care of my father until his last breath. No excuse for sticking your parent in one of those places. Yeah, I'm just telling you, man. You know what we do to old stuff over here. We've been programmed, man, to get rid of it. Throw it in the garbage, replace it. And those senior high rises, man, are garbage for senior citizens. That's what it is. And then you got the activity director. Then you will have the apartment manager. They talk to people like, like they got a tail. I watched this for 16 years. I'm not making nothing up. But we come on here talking about, yes, the greatest country in the world, and you treat your elders that way. We got a lot of explaining to do, man. No damn greatest country in the world. The people whose shoulders we stand on the shoulders to push them down in the damn mud. You talking about we live in the greatest country in the world. But that's exactly because we've lost our compass over here, man. We've lost it over here, and we won't admit it. That's one thing the Philippines has that America doesn't have, man. They still respect their elders like that. There are no nursing homes over there. They take care of their people till they die. We're not going to do that, hell. He said, people might think you and I are crazy for wanting to live overseas on the cheap with warm weather and beautiful women, but I say we're smart ones for wanting to do it. Absolutely. If you put us on par with somebody who's earning, $2,500, $3,000. Now, unless they did make some other smart decisions, like pay out their house and all their bills, and that's all they're doing is living on. Okay, yeah, but most people don't do that. That article said, and I put it in the link, y'all don't read it. Over 50% of American households in America, over 50%. So that's millions and millions of people have zero goose egg in their retirement account. How could that be? And then 46% said, yeah, we got something. But only 26% of that had over 100,000 or more. 9% of the 46% said they had over 500,000. Very few people, man, have money to retire. So 1 out of 6 people who retire go back to work. I'll be damned. I'm not going back to work. I'm sorry, man. I had to come up with something. Else. He said Mexico still respects their elders too. They don't have nursing homes all over Mexico to house the elderly. The elderly stay with their family and friends. There's a disconnect here. As religious as we are over here, we can do better. And when people talk about that, y'all want to push back. No, look in the mirror. Okay? A friend of mine, he got ran over by a car. He was in a nursing home right here where his family can come and see him. Well, his niece took him 3 hours away. For whatever reason, she didn't even tell the family. Now he's down and probably going to die now because his spirit is broke. Now you should see, at least he was responding at one time while he was here. People come see him on a regular basis. Now he's 3 hours away. Now he's in a breathing tube. He's just basically a vegetable laying there. And this is her uncle. I'm pretty sure took up for her. And, we forget a lot of stuff that our parents and grandparents and uncles and stuff did for us when we couldn't help ourselves. We forget about it. Yeah, this is what we need. See, but we think money is the solution to everything. What the Indians say, you can't eat money. You're going to find out, we think money's everything. Until nothing's left but money, you figure out you can't eat money. This is the road we're on. We sold our souls over here. We have no souls over here. So you go somewhere else where they got souls, they may not have the money. What kind of soul does a man have like that Vitali? He goes over there and treats those people like that. The worst I've ever seen. Okay, what makes him think he has the right to do that? Just for shits and giggles or something. Just for clicks and views, man. Something's going wrong over here, man. But when we talk about it, y'all push back. Y'all get angry. Oh, you picking on America. No, man, I grew up here. He said, you got to start investing early. Apart from depending on Social Security emergency funds, they didn't really teach us that early. Well, that's what Juice just said. It's a shame they don't teach us that now in school about saving and anything like that. You know, we're on that fast track. Okay, finish school, get married, buy a house, raise a family, and die. That's basically it. If you do anything outside of that, now you're looked at as abnormal. You know, more and more people are staying sober now. I mean, not so single now. They're not getting married. He said the working class are nothing but food for corporations to consume. Absolutely. The corporations, man, they bought our politicians. You know, they basically sold us down the river a long time ago. When I was growing up, man, listen to me, man. I'm in West Louisville. It's like a graveyard now. But when I was growing up, it was thriving, man. We had Philip Morris. We had jobs where you could retire with a pension, buy a house, send your kids to college, take them on vacation, have a nice car. That's why if you go down on Southwestern Parkway and Algonquin Parkway, you'll see these nice houses, man. Manufacturing used to be all down here. I mean, we had like 3 or 4 tobacco places. You had Brown and Williamson, makes all the liquor. United Distillers. You just had so many jobs. Peter Lorillard. I mean, just big time jobs, man. They took them overseas. They tricked us into thinking, oh yeah, we want cheaper goods. Well, that's what you're getting now. You're just paying more for it. Hey, Rashard, thanks for that super chat. He said, health comes before wealth, no matter where you go. Have your affairs intact. I salute you, Unc. My man is on the come up more than the tune-up. Yeah, health, well, time really is number one, health and then money. And they all work together. You know how much money you got in your 401, but you don't know how much time you got. Time is very valuable. You can't put a price on it. And what better way to spend your time than taking better care of yourself? We've had this discussion before. And then if you take better care of yourself, guess what? You're more productive. So now you got more money. And then it comes back around, now you got more time to do what you really enjoy. And just keep going around. But we put money at the top. That's why the chain is broken, man, when you take money and put it at the top. Time's got to be at the top. We got to learn to manage our time better. Take better care of ourselves. And then the money's going to be there. See, the self-discipline, y'all think I just be on her yapping. I'm not, man. I figured it out, man. When my mother died in 1993, I knew death was real. See, I was in denial. Even when my father died, I was still in denial. But when my mother died, I knew my black ass was going to die. Okay, and I started taking life serious from that moment. I don't play with my time, man. You know, it's too precious, man. It's too precious. But that's one thing we do. We put money at the top now. And it screwed up our whole society, man. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. He said the middle class is no more, Cal. Politicians of both sides have played the middle class like a fiddle. They have. You know, they're on TikTok now. I mean, these politicians, they got it so good. That's why they'll do anything to stay in office. They'll cozy up to anybody. You know, they'll talk to you on one side about the about the Holocaust going over in Gaza, but yet they're supporting that. They're not speaking out against it. Yeah, it's big money, man. It's big money. For a long time, Trump said, and everybody really, let's build a wall. This is how Trump thinks. And people have been trying to figure out this southern border for decades, right? How can we get this under control? But, he's got a third grade sort of thinking. Well, why don't we build a wall like China built a wall? Dude, do you know we can't afford to build that wall? It's a 2,000-mile wall. But this is the stuff he said. These are the leaders we're following here. He said, let's just build a wall. He sounds like Booby. Here's how he figures out his problems, like my little 4-year-old daughter. That's how he sounds, man. But yeah, they bought and paid for a long time ago. He says a college roommate of mine invested in Bitcoin about 17 years ago and kept some of it. I ran into him overseas on a trip. He's retired now at my age. The share of Bitcoin is over 85,000. Yeah, crazy. Yeah. Most of us just don't know anything about investing. We really aren't interested. It's for the long, investing is for, it's a long-term solution. We don't want that, man. You see some money in there that you've never seen before, and you're ready to pull it out. If you get up to 50,000, you've never seen 50,000. All you thinking about is what I can buy with the 50,000. You're not thinking about, well, let me leave it in there and let the 50,000 turn to 100,000. See, I'm supposed to be rich right now. I worked for a company back in the 90s. The stock split twice. It got up to 10,000. Hell, I'd never seen 10,000 before. I pulled my money out. He said, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? Yeah, we certainly lost that. They're even printing Bibles though over there in China. So I guess Bibles are going to go up. The price of a Bible. Trump is selling Bibles, believe it or not. He's got gold watches for 100,000. He's got Bitcoin, man. He's got a meme coins. This guy's a crook, man. All of them are crooks. But he's just doing, it used to be that corruption would be done in the dark. He's like, I don't care. I'm fooling with this stock market. I got these meme coins. My family's got meme coins. Okay? It's like, I don't care anymore. He's at the end of his life. I don't know what he's thinking. But yeah, we've sold our soul, man. Give us some money, man. You see it all the time. People want money so bad that, look at that Diddy situation. And Diddy's just the tip of the iceberg. That was going on long before Diddy. That casting couch and all that, that's been out long before Diddy. They would sell their soul to become a celebrity. He said, I think some of us are already well aware of what our kids would do with us. Yeah, man, it's going to be, something's going to have to give, man. Does anybody have any solution? He says, I'm working on a do-it-yourself UBI, generating $1,500 a month through dividends. This is the way. So what's the principle involved, Beach of Life? What's up, Michael? Well, that's because we think that people who have money are smarter than us. They get a pass. If you see who our children, man, are looking up to, man, oh my God. Really. If you see what our children are looking up to, the people they're looking up to, simply because they got money. They can't even pronounce a full sentence. Hey, Alan Fish, thanks for that super chat. He said, paying off your house here in Hawaii is cute. HOAs are approaching the cost of mortgages. Yeah, see, that's one thing I don't have. This is something people don't talk about now, right here. This is a great point right here. They're going to get you one way or the other. It's crazy, right? If you got to pay that kind of money every month for the homeowners association fees, and then if you don't, what they can take your house. I saw where the black lady lost her house. Where was she? She lost an $800,000 house because she missed a HOA payment. Hey, Rashad, thanks for that super chat. He said, Unc, you're a strong man. I don't think I could give up sisters. That's why I'm going to, he said, that's what I'm going to do first. I need my woman like Cherokee and Ebony Eyes. Well, no, I'm just saying that, see, if anybody watched that video, most people, they only comment on the title of your video. I said, the reason I no longer date black women may surprise you. It's not because I don't find them attractive and they're not beautiful and all of that. It's not for all the reasons that people say they don't date black women. It's because they all seem like they're my sisters. They all seem kin to me. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. This is what I see. When I see these women out here, when I'm going about my business, since I've been home, they just seem like they're kin to me. And I guarantee you, especially in a small place like Louisville, there's not even 6 degrees of separation. You're probably talking about 2 or 3 degrees of separation. I know they people anyway. Or I know the woman's ex-husband. See, I don't want to go through all of that. You know, Merlin had a boyfriend before me, but you know, I don't know, it won't hurt me. Hell, it's 6 degrees of separation between us. I don't want 2 degrees of separation between my soon-to-be wife or my live-in partner. That's too close, man. And they just seem like, you know, my daughters. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to fix this camera. But that was the whole point of that. You know, because people say, oh, well, you know, black women, they're confrontational, this and that. That's not what I was talking about. Let's see. You can get that, but you know, remember, there's more to a woman than that. Okay, remember my brother? He's 73, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, man, you know, you're 73 now, and his wife is 73." I said, "Are women still sexy at 73?" And he said, "Yeah." He says, "You know, one thing that he learned was to appreciate the fullness of the woman now, not just her looks. You know, which most of us are. You know, we're shallow like that, and then we want to cry when the woman takes us for half of what we got, or she cheats, or mistreats us because character don't mean anything. Okay, all it is she's got to look good. And everybody's got their preference, you know. Everybody's got their preference. There's nothing wrong with having a preference, guys. Okay? But just, you know, make sure that the woman that you wants you. See, that's the one thing that my mother taught me. I can't remember. I was so young and I didn't understand her. She said, when you get married, make sure the woman loves you. And I'm thinking like, my mama, I didn't say it to her because my mother would have slapped my lips off my face. But I was thinking, well, shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't I marry somebody I love? It was only years later did I even get that, what she was saying. He said, I can see Cal in the old folks home now mumbling to himself, don't do nothing stupid. Yeah, but I'm not going to be in a nursing home. Yeah, he said, far too many dudes in relationships with women to tolerate them. Yeah, you know, because all we look for is the looks, sadly. He said, don't move into an HOA, simple solution. You know, some of these places that maybe where the house is that you're interested in is in an area with a HOA. He said, both my pension and Social Security has me straight financially. He said, oh, and by the way, salute to the chat. You know, this is the way I always looked at retirement. But we were talking about your retirement savings. See, a lot of us don't have a savings. But we won't get honest, you know. It's nobody's business, but at some point you got to get honest, at least with yourself. That's why I bring these topics up. It's like, is my retirement savings enough? Just like the guy came on here earlier, Raiders Daddy. He said, hey, all of a sudden his Social Security disability was cut off. Now, if he would have had savings, he wouldn't have had that to worry about. But now he said he got to hustle to find a job. Now, can you imagine that this guy there's no telling how long he's been collecting Social Security disability. Now, all of a sudden he's got to go back to work. That's a shock. That's a shock, man. And see, but you're right. You know, that's what most people look at their retirement. It was, well, how much income am I pulling in every month? And one emergency is going to destroy that. I don't care how much you got coming in. One emergency, if you don't have your Medicare, or you don't have a good enough health care coverage to cover that, you're done. I don't care how much you're bringing in. He says, when you buy a house, you got to read the fine print. It's HOA and you didn't know about it, you're stuck. Yeah, he said, good luck finding a home without a HOA here. I guess that's the new scam. Because they always talking about, you know, we look on the lookout for scams in the Philippines, right? Man, you better, if you're in America, man, this is scam central here. I mean, that's another thing we've done to our seniors and elders over here. We cheated them, man, so bad that they're afraid to answer the phone. They had to come up with the do not call list, guys, because that's how bad we did them, man. Those only forefathers we need to be worried about is our grandparents, our parents and our grandparents. We've done them so bad over here. I just saw where a guy ran off. They had some flood, you know, they had some flooding over here since I've been back. And the lady gave him $4,000 to do some, you know, to get rid of flooding, and he ran off with it. It's a damn shame, man. They're easy targets, you know. But instead of getting a job, man, people want to get out here. They want what you worked hard for. That's why a lot of these people, you see that guy that ran up in that restaurant, was it in Texas? Tried to rob everybody, turned his back, and the man pulled out a gun and shot him. Then they're going to try to get mad at the man for shooting him, talking about, oh, that's overkill. Well, the man comes in pointing a gun at everybody. Why don't he just get, he should have been at work. They probably would have hired him at that place. But the man shot him like 9 times or something. He emptied the clip on him. And the mother and everybody, they're mad at the man. Oh, it was overkill. No, he shouldn't have been in there with that. You know, we got that entitled attitude, man. That's what scares me the most over here. Eventually, you're going to walk into the wrong person. They want to try to take something you got. It's too many bullies over here, man. He said it would take an intelligent being to change the course of this world, and the government knows this and is hiding this fact. No, it'll just take the people to stand up. Whenever the people stand up, you see changes. Look at the civil rights, which, by the way, you know, imagine the trickery that goes on in this country, man. The brainwashing and indoctrination and everything like that. You know, they got the Hispanics fighting against the blacks, Asians fighting against the blacks, when it was our struggle that freed y'all up to come over here and everything. Let's get real about that. But they turned it around, man. It's just, that's what's so bad. When people got to wise up, man, and then stand up and push back against these fools. Because they got money don't mean anything. He said this is prophecy. Well, here we go. Well, how long is it going to take? Was it prophecy? When we were in chains, eating chitlins, you know, that's where we eat chitlins from, by the way, Gasford Huxtable. Was that prophecy? We're chained outside in the winter, and, you know, we were chattel slavery, chattel slaves, you know. What was prophecy then? Hey, what's up? He said, watch him from Tagig. He said, Social Security is only 20 to 25% of what you made that they slowly pay you back. Buy a house that is broke down and fix it up. As I bought first house slated for demo and sold it for $32,500 cash. Well, see, a $7,000 investment, I'm pretty sure is what you're saying. But this is what I'm saying, Paul, that I'm doing over in the Philippines. And people are doing it in other places. They see the opportunities over there. Their eyes have been opened up. They're no longer sleeping anymore. They're saying, hey, you know, I got to be over here doing something other than, you know, walking around with my trophy wife. Imagine I bought a plot of land over there for $610. And then there's another piece of land right next to it. They just want 65,000 pesos, which the peso right now is 56.66. So just say another $1,000. I'm probably going to buy it. Well, I'm not going to probably, I'm going to buy it. That's how you know, since I'm over there, now, how can you do that over here? For $1,000? You know, they're not making land anymore. Land is always going to go up. They're not making any more land. But if you walking around all the time, your whole focus is women, you blind as a bat. You're not seeing the opportunities all around you. It's like the acres of diamonds. It's opportunity over here. You see the foreigners coming over here getting rich. When you sitting by doing nothing, complaining, they coming over here getting rich. They see the opportunity. I was walking to the library the other day, and it's a Cuban crew. They're working, because see, this is like a middle-class neighborhood over here. They're doing some kind of work for the lady, some type of, I guess they were digging down to expose her water pipes or lines or something. Well, anyway, hell, they all had new cars. And they were, you know, living the life, man. The guy I told you I seen in Speedway who couldn't speak a bit of English had a brand new Honda. Nice gold chain, real nice clothes. He's living the American dream. There's no telling what he's doing over here. I bought some tacos yesterday. They got a stand. These are Mexicans, mother and daughter. They're getting rich, man. Well, we sitting around complaining. You know, our eyes are closed, man. We don't see the opportunity. It's all around you. The farmer sold his land. He went to look for diamonds elsewhere, not realizing he was living on acres of diamonds, literally. But he went looking for opportunity somewhere else. And that's what most of us do. Yeah, but you know, you can't just sit there and talk about, you're the guy that sent me that email. You know, okay, so what are you going to do? Just keep beating the Philippines down? Is that what you're going to do, Mike? I mean, where's that going to get you? You know, I want to tell you this. I say this all the time to people. It's the man that makes the destination, not the destination that makes the man. I went to the Philippines and created a literal paradise for me and the people who are around me. So y'all can say all you want about the Philippines. Wherever I go, I could go to Thailand and do the same thing. You guys are starting this, all the expats in Thailand are so much smarter. Oh, we you know, we got more money, this and that. No, you're actually weaker. I didn't want more of the same. I didn't want more of the same. I like the Philippines because it's so much different than what I'm coming from. But to keep on pushing the Philippines down, man, they ain't gonna get us nowhere. Just don't go there. Stay over in Thailand, man. That's all you gotta do. But I get sick of that, man. You know, it ain't doing nobody no good. Like Thailand is like the utopia. You can't even speak Thai language. They don't give a damn about, they don't care no more about you than they do over here. They just want your money too. But it's the man who makes the destination. There's guys living in the Philippines you wouldn't even believe. I met a guy in Bacolod, a brother. Okay, you wouldn't believe this guy, man, is living a life that people only dream of living. But all they got is to come on there and say, oh, the Philippines is not this, it's not that. Yeah, it's not Thailand. It don't have to be, though. He said, that was in Houston when the dude got killed trying to rob the restaurant. Yeah. He said, a black dude in Dallas did the same thing to a robber, but he was charged. Well, he shouldn't have been charged. If he had was he licensed to carry? He says, I'm 109% vet with 90,000 a year. Well, how much savings? This is what we're talking about today, savings. We're not talking about how much pension you got. How much of that are you putting away? He said they only want the police and the criminals. You know, see, that's what all the argument about gun control, okay? How many gun laws do we have already on the books? Just enforce those laws. And we should be okay. But I don't care what laws you got, it's not going to take it out of the hands of the criminals. There's millions and millions and millions of guns on the street. It's not the guns, man. It's the mentality of the people over here. You see that guy, the MAGA guy, they real quiet about that. This Trump support, he's a MAGA, goes down there and kills the people in Florida State University. Well, Fox, all they want to talk about is the little guy that stabbed the guy. Where did he stab him? Where was that? Was that in Texas? That's all they want to talk about. But if it has anything to do with MAGA and a Trump supporter, these people are crazy, man. To pick up a gun that's not bothering anybody, Go to Florida State University and kill innocent people. Okay? It's not the guns. Those guns were legal. His mother was like a sheriff or something. Had been a sheriff for like 18 years. It has nothing to do with guns. There's no gun control in the world that's going to stop that. Those guns are legal that woman had. He's a 20-year-old. He goes there. Everybody's minding their own business. That's why they have to get rid of Luigi Mangione. They gave him the death penalty because he was smart enough. He knew who to kill. He wasn't killing innocent people. He knew who to kill. They said, no, we got to get rid of him. He may influence other people to follow in his steps. So now they're calling for more. They said, we need more Luigis. That's what's going to change. That's what's going to change all this. Not going out to Florida State, killing innocent people. Yeah, well, okay, how much of that is savings? Well, you're one of the smart ones then. Yeah, those guys like that, they want to pump themselves up. He ain't doing no more in Thailand than I'm doing in the Philippines, trust me. They want you to think that they are. Just be happy wherever you are. Yeah, but see, I don't believe this. I don't believe everything I see on TikTok and Facebook and all that. I just don't believe it. And even if they did, okay, I don't believe that. Free money to buy a truck. Come on, guys. Y'all got to be smarter than that. He ain't even here long enough to be here a week. Who hooked him up with that? How did he even know where to go? I mean, we got to think that one all the way through. That's old. I saw that. I didn't believe it when I heard it. He said, Cal, in May, I will be in my second home in the Philippines, bro. I'm excited. Yeah, you doing the right thing, see? You taking advantage of that over there. Man, listen, guys, I'm going to tell y'all something right now. When I came to the Philippines in 2018, my credit score was hovering around 600. It was about 620 or something like that. You know what my credit score is right now? It's 739 and going up. By the end of the year, I have an 800. I never even dreamed of that. See, now I can start doing some things. See, because I don't have to rob Peter to pay Paul. I was able to pay off all my bills while I'm over there without buying all this junk over here I was buying. I don't have to have a car where I am. I don't have a mortgage. I'm freed up from all of that. I'm trying to help people, man. I've never had a credit score that high before. Even when I bought my house, my credit score wasn't 700 because I had all that debt. Imagine I bought a house. What did I have? Like a 660 or something. I was always carrying a lot of debt. Now all of a sudden, my credit score is 739. I'm like, wow. I mean, I'm getting so many offers. It's like, I don't need that stuff anymore. Oh, I don't want that. I don't want your money. He said, I believe Richie Mack did a great job promoting Thailand, that the haters come in for the field just because you're not putting up the special effects the Zoom put up. Field's a spot for brothers. Yeah, it's a lot of people promoting, Thailand. But people do that for their own self, their own self-esteem. I'm not going to put somebody else down just to raise myself up. Okay, I mean, he wrote me a long, I don't even know if it's a real guy. It couldn't be a real guy. If you see the email he wrote me, if I would print that out, it would be 10 pages. I'm like, dude, it's not that serious. After about 4 or 5 sentences, I already knew. I said, look, I done heard this argument so many times. The Philippines versus Thailand argument. Okay, that's old, man. It's tiring. We don't want to hear it anymore. If you happy over there, stay your ass over there and be happy. You don't have to put the Philippines down to raise yourself up, man. I could go to Thailand and do what I'm doing in the Philippines. It's me. It's the man who makes the destination. You got to understand, I was doing pretty good over here. It was just the stress that got to me over here. I can make it in America, man. He said, my dad was working maintenance at a Toyota parts factory in central Kentucky. He said most of the workers were from Mexico. He said, make it make sense. Because we don't want to work though, Don. I told you I got a good friend of mine, man. We talk every now and then. He came to my meet and greet in Iloilo. He said his father's got a factory in Iowa. They're paying $18 to $19 an hour to start. He said, Cal, we can't keep people. He's trying to come up with a strategy. Imagine this. They're trying to come up with a strategy to recruit workers. So guess who's going to take those jobs? The immigrants that just come over here. They see the opportunity. We don't see it. We think, oh, it's not enough for me. I got a high school diploma. You know, I can barely read or write. I want to start out as the manager. You know, that's the first thing that people ask when they go to apply for a job. How much is it paying? They don't ask anything else. What kind of training you going to give me? Because I guarantee you, like I told you the other day, about the hamster wheels we create for ourselves. The majority of people watching me right now, you're not reading any books. You're not taking any training at all. You're not doing anything to improve your life, but you want the high salary. You think that, you know, your life is just going to magically get better. It's not, guys. It's not going to get better. You got to do that. But we sit around, we complain all the time instead of doing something about it. So yeah, they come over here and they're at that Toyota parts factory because these guys, they want to, everybody's a rapper now in our community, Don. At least that's what the paper says. Let somebody get shot and killed, he's a rapper. Like, I never heard of this guy before. Everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody, you know, sees that on social media and thinks, oh, I want the easy money like that. Knowing them people that sold their soul. You want the baby oil too? And a lot of them will do it. They do that. Then they got to live with themselves. Well, what most of us have in the Philippines is what's called the sugar contract. There's a very powerful, rich and powerful man in the Philippines. He commented one time on one of my videos where I was talking about that. Most of us, it's in the woman's name. He said, Calvin, you know, there's a way foreigners, he didn't go into any detail, but trust me, this guy knows. He said, there's a way foreigners can own land in the Philippines without entering into a sugar contract. He called it a sugar contract. And that's what most of us have over there. You know, everything's in her name. I'm included. And one of the ways is if you have a corporation or a trust. But remember, I'm not a Filipino lawyer. I'm not going to practice Filipino law without a license. That would be something to talk to a lawyer. But I know this for a fact. When me, Marilyn, and Booby, when Booby was a baby, we went to Sapalai. Not Sapaway, Sapalai, about 7 hours away. And the resort we were staying in was owned lock, stock, and barrel by a French and German. Yeah, it's crazy that they'll take something like that and run with it. You know, I don't know what it was. I'm not even involved in that. See, this is the reason why, what's wrong. This is another thing that's what's wrong with America. We'll get focused on the wrong thing. I mean, why is everybody so invested in that? Let the courts play that out. You know, they'll make everything into, you know, us against them sort of thing. But I was just saying they're mighty quiet on this guy. He's a self-proclaimed MAGA, Trump supporter that shot those people at Florida State. But you don't see them talking about it the same way they're talking about this Camelo guy and his situation. He says, I thought a lot about the SIRV, that special investment, but I just didn't want to throw $75,000 into a market I know very little about. And that's smart. He said, I missed the meetup. I was doing business here and bummed I missed it. Calvin knows my good friend Derek. Yeah, Derek Q, he's a good guy. I mean, you know, people say this and that about people. I'm just telling you my experience with the man. It's always been above board. I knew him before he even had a channel and doing all this stuff. He told me that's what he was going to do. He said, way too many lady boys. I'm just saying, it's just that that argument has gotten old, man. You know, we didn't argue about that stuff growing up. Man, if you happy, man, be happy. I'm proud, you know. I'm happy for you. I'm applauding you, you know. But now they're trying to put you down for your retirement destination. It's crazy, man. I saw Cooper Ty eventually come over here talking about all the prices are going up. You might as well move to Thailand. Why I want to move to Thailand? I got it good in the Philippines. Well, I want to move over there, man. It's enough people over there already. Y'all don't realize, man, that over tourism is a serious thing. It's a lot of drawbacks to that. But y'all remember, we're walking around with our eyes closed. But we competing against each other. Hey, what's up, Confident Voice Speaks? Thanks for that super chat. He said, what's up, Uncle Cal? Thanks for the insight earlier. Oh, man, you're welcome. I know you've never been in the Philippines that long at one time before. So you was probably just, you didn't know what to do. But yeah, when you're in the country 59 consecutive days and you go for that next extension, they're going to automatically apply for the ACR card for you. You don't have to do anything. They're going to use the picture from your passport on the ACR card. Now, the tricky thing about it is, well, the confusing thing, not tricky. It's good for a year. So when I go back to the Philippines, my ACR card is good until March of 2026. So after I'm there 59 consecutive days and I go back, I'm going to give them my ACR card so they don't charge me all over again for it. But yeah, there's nothing you have to do. He said, Cal, I'm 59, retired 4 years ago. 10,000 in savings, 11,000 in the market. Started investing in the market about a year ago. What are you investing in? Is anybody hit it big on the Bitcoin or anything? Or any type of strategy? Y'all got any type of, I know TJ invests. You got any strategies for people who are interested, TJ, in investing? Maybe they can supplement. I know you and W Secrets of Success was going back and forth. But now would be the time, if you haven't moved overseas yet and you worrying about a stream of income, well, hell, you're in the richest nation that's ever existed. if the guy wants a remote job, this is where you get it. Then you go work somewhere else. Then you go live somewhere else, I mean. Yeah, we are consumers. We've been made into consumers. We were tricked a long time ago that into that cheaper was better. So they took all the stuff. They said, okay, we're going to give you the products and we're going to give them cheaper, but we're going to have to make them overseas. And them jobs never came. They haven't come back. They won't come back. The only thing that's in my neighborhood now basically is like hospitals, YMCAs, service type jobs. Those manufacturing jobs aren't coming back. Computer, if you good with computers and stuff like that. But manufacturing jobs for the everyday man, and guys were really, if you could get a job at Ford, General Electric, like I said, Philip Morris, Brown Foreman, you were doing it, man. In 1970, my mother was bringing home over $100 a week. That was good money back then. I mean, we were living good. Yeah, I'm just saying it's true, though. I mean, it just gets old to me. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I've been going to the Philippines on and off for 16 years. I like it there. There's nothing they can say that would make me leave. I mean, it'd be something I could say to make me leave. Something I could do. Because I think for myself, nobody's going to come on here and tell me how bad the Philippines is when you haven't been around the whole Philippines. You've been in the same little funky spots everybody else been. It's so spread out, man. I seen a guy from Thailand, by the way, bumps and bruises. Remember I did that good interview? Well, it was a great interview with him. He took a trip all around the Philippines. He said, Calvin, he says just some ninth wonder of the world stuff I saw in the Philippines. He said, but there was nobody there. He said he saw some of the most amazing natural, the natural beauty that he saw in the Philippines was so amazing on his trip. But he said it's such a stupid thing to compare the two because in Thailand they go to, he said there's a handful of places they go in Thailand and he named them. He said there's even fewer places they go in the Philippines. They don't know enough about Thailand and they don't know enough about the Philippines to even be sitting there comparing them. It's comparing bananas to apples, man. They're two totally different places. The religion, the history, everything's different. They're not the same thing. If you found what you were looking for over there in Thailand, stay over there. That's all I'm saying. Don't try to make me look bad because I chose the Philippines. I don't care what you say. It's not going to change my mind. Hey, Swiss Girl, thanks for that super chat. He said, thanks, Cal. I started giving to the less fortunate again. Feels great. Don't know why I stopped. Content is A1. Keep it going. Hey, thank you, man. But see, if I don't know anything else, I know that for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. So few people help other people, though. We're too selfish over here. And, I gave a guy $1 today because this is what's really shocking to me. I saw it before. It's worse now. On every corner, there's a man with a sign. Every corner, every intersection of every corner. I would never make a video like that. I'm just saying, y'all know I'm telling the truth. Every corner, that's the hustle now. These are able-bodied people for whatever reason. They don't want to work. He said the American dream is debt and more debt. Yeah, they've got us on this hamster wheel, Sonny D. A ban. You get a new iPhone and then now all of a sudden they convince you need a new one. Well, damn, I just bought this one. Same thing with a car. Every so many years, you buying cars. The minute you buy the car and you take it off the lot, it's just, the value goes down. They give you a 30-year mortgage. You end up paying twice as much for the house. You better just hope and pray that the value goes up. Yeah, he said, day trading. There's a 95% failure rate. Look it up. I had a woman that worked with me at WellCare. She had to come back to work. Now, her parents died and left her. She wouldn't have had to work another day in her life. She started day trading, and she lost everything. She had to come back to work in her late 50s. This woman was set for the rest of her life. Her parents had died, left her real estate, left her cash. She started day trading and lost it all. She lost every dime. He said, yeah, they compare every damn thing. They do. They compare the woman. They done got to the point where they're comparing them now. Oh, my woman looks better than yours. Okay. They comparing everything. It's just that's a sign of being unhappy when you compare everything. Just be happy with what you got. It's a whole lot better than what you had. But I just don't understand it. This guy wrote me, it's just an unbelievably long email. I hope he didn't think I was going to read that thing. I didn't have to read it, though. I didn't have to read that whole thing to know where he was going with it. He said, I used to live in the Philippines for 4 or 5 years, he said. And then he just started putting the Philippines down and talking about how good Thailand was. And I was like, come on, man, I see where this is going. Take care, man. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. Don't do nothing stupid. And I shut it down. I erased that sucker. I was like, I ain't got time for that, man. He said, I don't know with these tariffs and trade wars, the orange dude in the White House is turning the world upside down. Yeah, single-handedly by himself. But if you say that, don't talk politics, they'll just sit by and watch him do it. He literally took $10 trillion. He wiped out $10 trillion worth of wealth in just a few short weeks, man. A few short days, basically. All for nothing. Then to come back when they called his bluff and said, we're going to pause this stuff. Yeah, you're going to pause it. Because you were really getting ready to just destroy everything. They said it's going to take, they don't know if we can ever recover from this. All that tough talk, and the minute they stand up to him, he backs down. Yeah, he looks weak, man. It really looks weak. Yeah, they're not going to villainize him, man. And it's just, man, they're putting it all on the other case, which is so much going on over here right now. They want to distract you. I'm going to tell you something. The problem is, when stuff is as bad as it is right now, the only thing that's going to really bring it back together is a war, some type of real, what do you call it? Some type of conflict, just like that Iraq thing. Just like Iraq. They're going to need a strategy. They're going to need something to really distract you away from what's going on, And they got their eyes set on Iran. But that'd be a big mistake, man. Hey, what's up, Frank? He said comparison. It is. They do it, man. They want to make themselves look good. It's like they're reassuring themselves that they made the right retirement choice. Okay, good for you, man. You don't have to prove it to me. But there's nothing that you can say about the Philippines is going to change my man. Rocket Man Genesis, thanks for that super chat. He said the 90-day pause was a strategy to target only one country, China. Okay, well, how's that working out? How's that working out, man? Hey, Ruby, welcome to the chat. Yeah, how's that working out? And then tell that to the people who lost all that money in their 401ks, the regular people. I mean, they set them back, man. Imagine if you get ready to retire and you lose half of your 401k. And y'all say, oh, that's not true, Cal. That's not happening. Yes, it is. It's people watching this right now who lost half of their account, 401k account when all that debacle. What are you supposed to tell them? No, I don't dislike. Do I dislike white people? I mean, if I did, could you blame me? But I don't. Where would you come up with that? That's just a distraction. But if I didn't like white people, could you blame me? If I didn't. But I'm not that stupid. I'm not going to paint all white people. I'm not going to paint all black people. I'm not going to paint all Asians or all anybody. It's the individual I deal with. You got to realize, man, I live in Kentucky. It's 92% white. If I didn't like white people, I wouldn't be able to do nothing. I wouldn't have any type of success, no type of social life, no nothing. I learned a long time ago, I got to learn how to get along with people other than my community. But no, it wouldn't do me any good. I ain't gonna lose no sleep. Hey, what's up, Tyrone? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I remember you from the meet and greet. Yeah, he said, what's up, Cal? It's Tyrone. I actually mentioned you. He said, I just want to say what's up and plan on coming back in July. Hope you have my room ready, player. Yeah, it's ready, man. When I get back, I'm gonna have hot water in that guest house. That's the only thing missing in there. Well, they're already giving us the business. That's all bluffing. Everything we buy, even the Bibles y'all reading, they printed in China, man. China, we getting everything from China. They have to shut down Walmart. You see what Walmart did, didn't you? They start pushing back. She wrote out a full page ad in the New York Times about Trump. Our country's not for sale, because she knows what this trade war is going to do to their business. And she's worth $17 billion already. Everything they got in there is made in China. I remember, man, I'm going to tell you how long ago, how old I am. I remember when Walmart used to promote itself as, made in America. We only sell American-made products. Who else remembers that? That every so often, like every Monday or every Tuesday, you could go there if you had a American-made product and see if they would put it on their shelf. But they were probably lying then. Let me get rid of you, man. I ain't got time for that. But yeah, retire. What you tell me? You're right, he did. He said Trump even affected our retirement funds, down by 10% since he took office in January 20 and made those outrageous policies on trade. And I'm not even in the U.S. He single-handedly shook up the whole world, not just the United States. He's a blockhead, man. That's what he is. He thinks like my little daughter, Booby, does. He's going to make these countries pay taxes. Yeah, right. Yeah, they barking up the wrong tree. But he's going to try anything, okay, to distract you, man. But see, that's the way Trump thinks. Now, they already had an agreement in 2015. So he comes in 2018 and tears the agreement up. Now he's back at the table now. Man, you already know, man. It wouldn't benefit me anything anyway you're not that important, man, for me to hate you or to dislike you. It wouldn't do me any good anyway. That's ignorance. Racism is ignorance, is what it is. That's what eventually is going to destroy America. It's not going to be tariffs and all that. It's going to be this antiquated racial stuff. All these years, you're still fighting against each other. You still think that your skin color has something to do with your intelligence and all that. I tell you all the time, if you think right now that your skin color makes you more intelligent, more entitled, that's a mental health issue. Everybody knows that's junk science. White supremacy affects white people too. Yeah, I got rid of him. You see what a lady asked Chat GPT, what if all African Americans left the United States, what would happen? You better learn to live together, man. You know, it's a class warfare, guys. You know, if you ain't up there, if you're an oligarch or somewhere near there, they don't give a damn about you. Give a damn what color you are. The decisions he made affected the poorest people who voted for him. But he's a hero to them for some reason. You got to ask them. But they're suffering just like the rest of everybody else. Rocket Man Genesis, he says, I bet you 1,000 that the stock market and all your retirements will be back up in 50 to 90 days from henceforth. Yeah, but you'll never get that money back, Rocket Man Genesis. You don't know anything about stocks. You don't truly lose it until you sell, but they'll never get that money back they lost. They'll never get that money back that they lost. And you just guessing anyway. There was no reason for him to do that. There was no strategy involved in that. Okay? But thanks again for that super chat. There was no strategy to that. The only reason he put the pause on, man, you need to see how tough. I thought y'all ain't listening. See, y'all moving the goalposts. He just said when he put them up there, no, this isn't even for discussion. Because they already knew he was going to pause it when that bond market started moving. Okay? And they said, do you think he's going to put a pause on it? No, it's not even for discussion. They're going to have these countries running to us, you know, begging for a deal. Yeah, right. Yeah, based off what TJ said. It's going down, man. Yeah, if you're ignorant, that's all. Would it matter if Trump was black? Yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't help people's 401k. He's still making the same stupid decisions. But they, you know, you talk about jury nullification, right? When jurors don't even look at the evidence or anything like that, and they say, oh, we're going to acquit this man. This is how they elected Trump. But the lady had the sign up at the 420. She said, you elect a rapist, you expect to get fucked. Okay? This man is a criminal. Period in the story. He was convicted. 34 felonies. Man, come on. Yeah, I mean, but a lot of times you don't realize Trump's decisions are, because he's not listening to his advisors. Nobody could be giving him that stupid information like that. If you are a financial advisor and you're giving Trump that type of information, unless you're inside of trading, you're not worth the. the degree your papers were printed on. He said, what's my point of view about artificial intelligence? Well, they're always going to need the human touch. The artificial intelligence is there to, in my opinion, it's always been there though. What do you think it is when that spell check on your phone? That's artificial intelligence. They'll never be able to recreate that brain, man. See, this is what's wrong with the human race. Where do you think they got, the atomic bomb from? Studying the sun. They say, okay, we can make something hotter than the sun. Now they're saying, okay, we're going to do this artificial intelligence. That's why it's called artificial intelligence. It's never going to fully take over. I mean, if you got a job that a monkey can do, then you probably should be worried. Okay, if you're standing on the assembly line painting something or putting, round pegs in round holes or something like that, then yeah, you probably got something to worry about. But if you're out there dealing with the public, offering some type of service, you don't have anything to worry about. So yeah, it's going to take some jobs, but it's always been taking jobs. Ask anybody that works in any type of auto manufacturing company. How much artificial intelligence has been in there for decades? But we're not gonna pay to see 5 robots playing in the damn NBA. Okay, or playing on the football field. We're not gonna do it. It's there to entertain us, man. That's all it's gonna do. Well, October 24th, but see, here's the thing. This never happened before, okay? Trump really inherited a robust economy. Okay, inflation was going down. The unemployment was low. Stock market was at the highest it's ever been. The economy, man, was basically booming. He took that, man, and destroyed it by himself with the stupid ass policies he made. Yeah, nobody wants to talk to AI, man. It's not gonna happen. Okay, look how long. Okay, if this lady's on here, just excuse me, but I'm making a point. How long have they been trying to create the perfect pussy in a damn robot and all these AI women? All it's not gonna happen, man. There's nothing like the real thing. I saw the video where the man brought his father a fake, vagina, even came with the lubricant and everything. The father was so happy. And I'm like, man, that's sick for real. I think it had something like over 1 million views because the father was so happy. I guess they were, they got the views because he was so happy. But it's sick, man, to bring your father a damn plastic. All it is a damn plastic hole, basically. And he put even with the lubricant, all the father was just slobbering at the gums. He's ready to just pound something. And the son told him, say, now, daddy, you can have some anytime you want it. It was crazy, man. Yeah, see, but if you say something like this, Frank, you're going to get a lot of pushback. Okay, imagine running a casino into the ground. But he did. Yeah, but did anybody else see that video besides me? where the man bought his father, it's just a little piece, a little flap of plastic with like a little, I guess it's supposed to be a vagina, and he's showing him how to work it, and he gave him the lubricant, and the father's just so happy. And he said, now, Daddy, you can have something anytime you want it. And it was, I'm like, dude. Hey, what's up, Ty Sanders? I saw you posted a video or something when you were just riding around. I think were you doing DoorDash or Uber? What were you doing? Yeah, AI is only going to go so far. They already got AI, though. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. When I was in the Navy, that phalanx system that they had, that's AI, man. Where, you didn't have to, the gun, right? You didn't have to work it. All you did was load it, and the thing would follow the planes around and stuff, man. The phalanx system. No, we're just having a conversation, man. I don't have to be an expert in this stuff. It's no different than if we were at the gym, man, okay? I'm not giving advice or anything like that. I'm just telling you facts, okay? I don't have to be an expert in anything to have a conversation with people. This is y'all's problem, okay? Y'all follow the wrong people. You think, oh, if a guy got a piece of paper and he's an expert. That's why we got ourselves in this situation right now. These expert politicians, y'all keep voting for. So y'all always we just having a conversation, man. What's wrong with that? So you tell me all you talk about is football the day long? Is that all you talk about? Or do you talk about a variety of subjects just to make conversation? That's all we're doing. I don't have to be an expert to do that, man. I mean, what good does it do to have an expert on here talking about the markets? You're not going to follow it anyway. If you did, we wouldn't be on here talking about retirement. We'd be retired. We'd have plenty. All of us would have money, but half of us watching this now have zero retirement savings. Those are the people that were being honest. Said we got zero. I told you a lot of y'all fronting. I made the video the other day. I think I'd just be on here talking. We broke, man, over here. We broke over here. We buying everything. We broke over here, dude. We living paycheck to paycheck. Well, we don't have to agree, man, but we're going to suffer together. We don't have to agree on nothing. We can disagree and still get along. But we're broke, The lady said she voted for Trump as revenge on the other politics for not holding their promises. And that's her right to vote. But why Trump? He's not some genius, man. Y'all making him out to be a genius. He's not. He was handed the money he's got on a silver platter. Okay, his father gave him that money. Hey, Rocket Man Genesis, thanks for that super chat. He says, I'm not broke. I've been retired for 30 years now. Well, I said, we're broke, meaning Americans. Okay? You've been retired for 30 years. I have to tip my hat to you. You was one of those guys that did the right thing. You made the right investments. But the most of us over here, we're broke, man. We're living paycheck to paycheck. You know, people are retired on their retirement, on their Social Security and their pensions. They don't have any savings. They equate that with their retirement income. They don't have no 500,000 in the bank. Yeah, but you know, we could go back and forth with all this, man. You know, they voted. He gave him a few million. How many times did he file bankruptcy? He wouldn't have the million. You see the fines that if he paid his fines, dude, he'd be broke. Okay? He said 1.4 was wiped away from 1.4 trillion. But they don't look at the facts. They're all up in their feelings. Facts don't mean anything to Trump supporters. This is what the headache that they'll give you. You can give them all the facts in the world. They're going to come up with something else. So let them know, okay, go ahead. It's not going to, you know, believe it or not, man, my mother had a 9th grade education. She finished the 9th grade. She didn't finish the 10th. And she said, it doesn't matter who the president is. You better have your shit together. And that's one of the best pieces of information I've ever been given. So you can argue about how well Trump is or not. It's not going to pay your bills. You can't tell me, we the people, you can't name 3 people on your school board or your city council. You know, who are your state senators? I mean, you can name your mayor and your governor. You probably don't even know who your congressmen are in your region or your district. And you worried about Trump when the decisions he making aren't even going to affect you or your children and what they're learning in school and all of that. Because I got to get it from the mud no matter what. I don't care who's in power. When Bush was in power, that's when I was earning the most money that I've ever earned in my life. Am I supposed to give the credit to Bush? No. I put my big boy pants on and got out there and got it done. He was just in office. So just take that piece of advice. You know, we're just trying to come up with some solutions, man, because we're all down here together. If you live in my neighborhood, you ain't got no more than I do. You can fool me all you want with all them fancy cars and clothes and jewelry and stuff. You ain't got no more than I've got. We should be working together. But yeah, guys, my battery's going down. It's about time anyway. Thank y'all so much for your super chats, your super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. These are the discussions we need to have more often. Not dating and relationships, because you're going to have that. Okay? You're going to be able to have that. But what about your retirement income? How you going to pay for the date? What are you going to do on the date? Where are you going to take the woman? See? That's what we need to talk about. Because the guy said it the other day. He said, all we talk about is money and our dicks. That's what he said. And I agree with him. That's all we talk about. We don't talk about nothing else. We done sold our soul. We have no soul over here. We don't care, man. I've seen it. I was on the front line for 16 years. We've thrown our seniors and our elders away. They're on their own in these warehouses, guys. Go check on them. Okay? I'm just telling you. If you don't believe me. We've thrown them to the garbage. Those warehouses, those senior high-rises, they're nursing homes without a staff, basically. That's what they are. But yeah, it's better to have these discussions, man. You know, we don't got to have no experts on here. We are experts. Learn to think for yourself, man. He said these discussions are way better. They are, man. He said, I work with a lot of Trump supporters. They all get their news from one or two right-wing sources that never point out Trump's failures. Yeah, it's all propaganda. They're just lying, man. They're lying. And that's not going to stop until they grab one of their family members or one of their wives. See, a lot of us are going, we're going over in Southeast Asia. We're marrying these women. We're bringing them back over here, right? They'll never be able to go home because when they come back, man, Trump's going to throw them in the damn detention place. If he finds just anything on their record, but this is what y'all voted for. Y'all think if you get rid of they think America belongs to them. The Trump supporters do. I got news for you, it doesn't. It belongs to us. It don't belong to you. You know, they want to get rid of everybody and just leave them here. They have no idea what America would be like if that was the case. But take care, everybody. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Don't do anything stupid, man. Learn to think for yourself. Okay? Don't let anybody try to take your free speech away from you. It's okay to talk about this stuff, man. We don't need no experts to tell us what to do. Hell, we are the experts of our own lives. That's the problem. We've been listening to these experts. That's how we got into the condition we're in now. We're the experts when you need them.